In the heart of Oru East local government area lies the quiet community of Umudiji Umwoku, Awamama. We meet women whose lives bear the scars of a painful tradition. They are survivors of female genital mutilation, a practice once carried out in secrecy, yet leaving a lasting mark on body, mind, and spirit in this community. We listen to voices long silenced by fear and stigma.
Okay, I'm a wallet you want. In the bed, I'm a camera. So my late father, Mama, I'm a paranimia, man, I see more to do. Man, I've been misunderstanding. If I come up on the bed, there's a camera.
Na ebole which
Mudoji Mokwe our mama.
No ebole.
Mudoji Mokwe our mama. Oru East, Oru East local government area. Yes. However, so my bechaji, mama ibre new bechaji over. Mama when I hold me the experience. You know, it's all I did. The thing are there, ratching. So ma the thing actually the thing at some judge when your mama it's mama and about two on up and down about
in the community of Umudiji Umwoku in Oru East local government area lived a woman named Mrs. Oluchi. Out of ignorance and following harmful traditional practices, she subjected her young daughter to female genital mutilation. With the involvement of a local nurse, they carried out what is known as type 1 female genital mutilation, the partial or total removal of the clitoris. At the time, Mrs. Oluchi believed she was doing the right thing for her child, unaware of the lasting damage such an act could cause. Today, her daughter lives with painful complications. She suffers from a condition where her urine splits into 2 streams, making something as natural as urination a daily struggle. This is just one story, but across many communities, countless girls face similar harm. Female genital mutilation is not only a violation of human rights, it is a dangerous practice with lifelong consequences. In the same community of Umudiji Umwoku in Oru East local government area, there is yet another victim. She is only 11 years old, a child, subjected to the painful practice of female genital mutilation. Her story is not just her own, but part of a larger tragedy that continues to affect young girls in this community.
I'm on 28th of December 2014. Sorry, 2010. So, by then, I won't have more idea in Basara Ibu as the old method and in use. So, a baby young for Apoje, maternity. So, I had a woman who Major Maria Webos, the son of Mrs. Webos. So, I gave back the woman who idea of yes.
Mrs. Blessing Enyawu believed she was doing the right thing for her young daughter. At just 11 years old, the child was taken to a local nurse. Without knowing the dangers, they carried out Type 1 female genital mutilation, a harmful traditional practice often passed down from one generation to the next. What seemed like a cultural duty has now left the young girl with lasting pain. She suffers from keloid growths over her vagina, a complication caused by the cut. The child struggles daily with discomfort, fear, and the consequences of a practice she never chose. Mrs. Blessing acted out of ignorance, thinking it was the best for her daughter's future. But the reality is clear. Female genital mutilation does not protect or honor girls. It harms them, sometimes for life. Today, this story is a reminder communities must learn, unlearn, and protect their daughters. Ending FGM means giving girls the chance to grow up safe, whole, and free from preventable suffering. In the quiet village of Umuarium, Aji, in Oru West local government area, life moves gently. Children play in the red earth, and the rhythm of daily chores fills the air. But behind the calm, we met a woman whose story carries a deep pain, a pain born not of nature, but of tradition.
Okay, now I'm a toilet money that is strong. Only the first issue being just races us. I don't know just I don't have but double the so many okay, this is a private body and I'm not saying there's something around and the private but likely I'm having more boom. All I look the body put a bit. I don't know.
On the surface there.
The procedure left her with lasting wounds, both physical and emotional. Years later, she still lives with pain during childbirth, womb pulling out again and again, and the memories that never fade. FGM remains a hidden issue in many communities, including here in Umuarium. Yet, women like her are breaking the silence, sharing their stories to protect the next generation. Her courage gives voice to thousands who cannot yet speak, because every girl deserves to grow up whole, healthy, and free. From Umuarium Aji, Oru West, this is the story of resilience, of healing, and of hope. A young woman, barely 20. She had the same bright eyes from this community full of dreams, full of promise. She had just given birth. A beautiful baby girl. Her smile carried pride and fear. When we spoke, she said she planned to prepare her daughter soon. She wanted to have her little girl cut, to continue a practice that has wounded generations of women before her. We told her there is another way, that her daughter deserves to grow, to smile, to live whole, without pain, without fear.
So if you go, it's going on job. Do you understand? And if you go now, and I if you go, and I if you go, we have done the moment I can affect. As innocent as this child is on that, on the knees back. okwu ka akwụsị ibi nwaanyị ugwu nke mama anyị amịtụkwara akụziela mama aghọta so anyị bịara ịhụ mama kwuo okwu ya gala many places mee program ebe dị iche iche thank God we met you. Ihe ọbụla ga-eme ịgwa ya si ya biko di na ya lekwa vidiyo hụrụ nwatakịrị ga-aga hụ akpa si ya bibikwala mmụ ya hapụ otu ahụ ọzọ Chineke shike ya na ya hapụ.
Over the past 10 years in Imo State, we've realized a kind of a shift in the practice of female genital mutilation. Initially, the practice of female genital mutilation was done on women and adolescent girls. But currently, people now have resolved to cutting or mutilating children, babies on the 8th day. Secondly, too, type 4 female genital mutilation, which is regarded as unclassified, is also something that we have realized that's currently of the increase in this state, Imo State.
A woman in Umuoji Amwoko, Eziowo 1, Oru East local government area of Imo State. She has been living with a severe complication resulting from female genital mutilation (FGM), a practice that has caused her womb to descend through her vaginal opening, leading to constant pain and distress.
Ihe ọ dị nka mkpụrụ akị gbakpọrọ m n'ahụ nwaanyị sị m gịnị dị ihe nke sikwa nga mgba gbadokwa jụkwara ihe nọọsụ na nwa ngwa nga kọsakwara ihe m onye na-asị ndị dị ihe nke onye ịmụ oke nwa ime na amụ n'oge nwa ma onye akọsiri ihe niile nke mana nsogbu anyị ọ bụrụ na ya na ọpụtara na nke iwu dị ọpụtara na na-eme ya operation.
Through our visit, we listened to her story, offered care and support, and renewed our commitment to raise awareness against FGM in all its forms. This woman's story is heartbreaking, yet it is not isolated. Many women and girls across communities continue to suffer in silence from the lifelong consequences of FGM. Every woman deserves dignity, safety, and the right to live free from harmful practices. Together, we can end FGM and protect the health and future of our women and girls. This story is about a girl of 17 years who is victim of female genital mutilation and have longed from its complications.
That's in my rise and you not complain. Kini mere how you no and we didn't hear me. A bed in you, Macam when Namu. I said, Belug, I get used to that time, dusting powder. You told me you use dusting powder. Dusting powder. Dusting powder, like I say, I use no color hair center. Has my young gonna use dusting powder.
Or may of form of some kinds of fruit.
But the only head to put on no none of the
At just 17 years old, Kioma's life changed forever. When she was a child, she underwent female genital mutilation, a practice done in the name of tradition. Years later, Kioma began to experience pain, discomfort, and difficulty during her monthly periods. After years, they discovered abnormal growth inside her vagina, a complication directly linked to FGM.
Went to see this girl who is having serious complications as a result of FGM done on her by her mother. And they find out that the body of the girl, the vulva, is joined together so that the urethral opening was divided into two, making it whenever she's passing out urine comes out from two places. It's a serious complication. We also met another young girl, about 11 years, in the community. This little girl has complications too, arising from FGM done to her by her mother still. She has a keloid formation in her vulva.
In the midst of the chaos, our priority was clear: to save lives. We took the first step by moving the survivors to the hospital, making sure they received immediate medical attention. For survivors of FGM, the journey toward healing begins with courage and with care. When we met them, we knew the first step had to be medical. We took them to the hospital, where they could finally receive the attention, treatment, and compassion they deserved. This step was about more than just medical care. It was about restoring dignity, safety, and hope. Every woman, every girl, deserves to live free from pain and fear, and to begin again with healing, strength, and support.
Virgin Heart Foundation took this documentary, or we decided to run a documentary project to scale up what we are already doing in the communities. We currently do a project on ending female genital mutilation, which is being sponsored by UNICEF and UNFPA. But then we decided to scale up some of these activities for people to really understand the complications of female genital mutilation on women and girls. Because we really found out that Oru East and Oru West, there's a high prevalence of these practices, FGM practices. Remember, there are 4 types of FGM practices, but then we discovered that Oru East and Oru West in local government areas in Imo State still practice clitoridectomy. That's the type 1 that has to do with the cutting or partial or total removal of the clitoris of a woman when a child is being born, or even when a woman is being mutilated. They have to cut the clitoris, and partly excision, that is the type 2. I've been able to take these survivors, very few of them, to see medical experts at Federal University Teaching Hospital, Were, so that there can be examined. Already that had happened, and the doctor had recommended various tests, so that they can get medical assistance. And they have been told to prepare for surgery. Of course, surgery is the only medical assistance they could get for someone who have lumps or develop all kinds of complications of FGM. But so we are limited, so limited, because we don't have funding opportunity to take these women to get surgery and be better. So what we are asking from this documentary is to see how we can get medical assistance for these people. If you are a good Nigerian, you're working on issues of addressing issues of reproductive health, you're addressing issues on women and children, and then you think you have a medical expert, you have a medical facility where these women can get this assistance, please, this is an opportunity for you to partner with Virgin Heart Foundation to get medical assistance for these survivors to be well again. And lastly, I really want to take this opportunity to appreciate UNICEF and UNFPA for the funding opportunity to Virgin Heart Foundation to implement movement for good to end female genital mutilation across Imo State. Since 2022, we have been doing this work to ensure that female genital mutilation ends in Imo State and in Southeast. And already we have, through their support, we have reached about 68 communities in Imo State, and we are doing more. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support for women and children in Imo State.